Take your wildest dream and make it a reality. Make it not a dream anymore. Make it something that's real. Bring it to fruition. Tell yourself you're a star.
Peace. Choose to inspire, not destroy podcast, and we're back.
Austin.
Yo. Choose to inspire, not destroy.
Peace. Choose to inspire, not destroy podcast, episode 36. And we're back. I got my guys with me, Brandon, Kofi, I'm G. Last but not least, a good brother of mine, a very special friend, and he's inspired, y'all. Mark Esteves. That's the only time I'm going to call him that during the show. To me, he's Marky. And it's a pleasure to have him. He's setting the tone for this year. We told you that we not playing no games. We welcoming guests. We're all inspired and we're moving forward in 2022 and we're making some moves. Marky, appreciate you joining us. Fellas, what's going on? How's everybody doing?
Chilling.
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
I'm good, man.
Yeah. Let's. I'm trying to build some energy off the rip now. I know we had our first episode of the new year, 35 before, but this is officially getting the ball rolling. So let me just say, if you've been here before, welcome back. Happy New Year again. We appreciate you. If this is your first time, welcome. You're safe. And we hope you enjoy, and we hope you continue to stick with us and enjoy the content that we're trying to bring to the table, because it's going to be a good year. This is our year. We inspired. Hope you out there, and you're inspired also. It's good to talk to y'all, man. I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah. I really am.
How things going over there?
Everything is lovely. Everything is lovely.
How y'all handle the snow?
It wasn't too bad for me. I ain't gonna front. I kind of played myself. I almost played myself. Well, I did play myself. Let me not even start the year out fretting, because they be doing all of those warnings and advisories, and the supermarket be crazy, and they was like it was gonna be so bad, and I don't got no ice. And, wow. You know what I'm saying? So like we ain't have no ice. Christopher went to work and was like, "Yo, the ice is like $25 now. You want me
ice melt?"
Yeah. My fault. Not no ice. The ice melt. The rock salt. Yeah. So we ain't have none. I asked him the day before, like, "Yo, we got any in the shed?" And he was like, "Nah, we out." So I'm like, "Damn." Hopefully it's one of them storms that it ain't too bad and I don't need none. And once he told me that the price went up to like $25 for a bag, I was like, I'm going to take my chances. And fortunately, it worked out because they price gouging. I don't know how much salt is by y'all or how much it was before, but it was like $13 out here.
Yeah, that sounds about right. We bought ours at the end of the winter last year, and we just had some left over, so we spread that. So I haven't been to the store in like 2 years shopping for ice melt or salt or whatever it is. But
damn, you bought that much when you stocked up?
We bought a couple of big bags because we thought it was going to be terrible, and then it ended up being a pretty warm winter last year. So, I shouldn't say warm, not icy. So,
yeah, that makes sense. I almost thought he was trying to get me when he was like, "Yo, it's like $25 plus days." I want to be like, "Yo,
your son,
yo, bro."
He's coming back with a video game.
You gotta come up. You gotta get it where you can.
I told you, I told you I'm not starting the year out fronting. I'm keeping it real with everything. I thought he was trying to play me. I almost was gonna be like, "Yo, if I come in there and I see the price is different," like. Like the price going up for you to stay here, bro. So make sure it's worth it. If you trying to get you trying to get me on this little bit of ice, word. But all right. Let me give a little bit of backstory real quick. Marky, 20 plus year friendship, man. And it's been a very long time. And usually we want to invite guests on here that they're pursuing a certain thing and they're moving in a certain direction with whatever it is, like a business or a goal or whatever that is. But I want to shift that a little bit and just invite people on here that want to share and that are inspired in life, period. Because being able to live your life in a meaningful way, have a family, whatever it is that's important to you, that you're working towards and you're striving to make that function and be great to a certain extent, that's inspiring to me. So we don't want guests to feel limited to thinking that they have to have a certain thing going on in their life for them to come on in here. Fellas, can we agree with that? That's cool.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
All right, so now Marky, you my brother, man. Like, yo, I love you. It's been a very long time. We've known each other since high school to now, 20 plus years. I've watched you go from a kid to a man with a family, and you've watched the same in return for me. You were in my wedding. We've been connected in a lot of ways for a very long time, and the journey has brought us to this point. So I appreciate you being here. Fellas, I appreciate you welcoming him. And he says something to me that I want to put him on the hot seat with off the rip. And B, I know you good at putting people on the hot seat. So that's why I'm throwing it out there early. We started 2022 off with not playing no games. When we spoke yesterday, you said to me, being on the show would help you. And that's what we're here for. It's a safe place. We here to help.
Yeah.
Right.
Tell us what you mean by that. What do you mean the
Exactly.
being on the show will help you?
I think, in my personal life, I had, in 2018, it was a really rough year, and I'm not sure when is the exact date when you guys started this, and when G was talking about this, amongst the fellas, amongst the crew. I thought, I was just like, wow, that's awesome. And then especially with the particular grievances that I had in 2018 and losing both my moms. What I mean by that is I was adopted by my aunt at 3 months old. So, and then, my biological mom was caught up in the 70s, 80s lifestyle, and it kind of trickled into present day stuff. And I lost my biological mom to some circumstances that are extremely personal at this very moment. But I lost my mom who raised me, whom is my aunt, to a heart attack after a triple bypass surgery. And that all happened within a 6-month span of each other. So what I meant when I told George that was that I never had the opportunity to grieve or to really talk about it. And I think this particular platform, being that I don't know if you guys lost parents, but I know G has, where it could be something to speak on, and relate to, and have, family, it wants to be comforting. Family will tell you what you want to hear, but to have the platform and to talk about it is something that I meant by that. I was just like, you know what? To sit down with a group of guys, with a good group of guys, and to hear different perspectives, and just to actually speak on that is somewhat what I feel would be therapeutic for me. So that's why when he asked me, I was excited, because I've been holding those certain feelings in and never really spoke about it. And I want to have the opportunity to grieve so I can actually celebrate their life and move on.
Man, that's rough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Word. Appreciate you
Condolences.
being willing to do
First
that,
off,
Marky,
yeah.
man. That's big. It really is. It takes a big person to want to just express themselves. So I'm
Sure.
grateful, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Oh, you set the tone, bro. You came through, and I don't know anybody. B, I'm putting you on the hot seat too. I'm putting
Yeah, I mean,
everybody on the hot seat.
I lost my mom's when I was about 14, right? So like it's something that I still kind of hold on to. And when they say time heals all wounds, I feel like there's certain wounds that doesn't apply to, right? Like I know you said it was going on 4 years now. Do you feel like the time has helped you to even be able to talk about it, like to be able to confront the reality of the situation?
You know, um, I don't think that that's a true statement. I don't think time has nothing to do with that. I think that that's something that you carry with you forever, and especially having strong Puerto Rican women as your backbone, and us being so, or me being so dependent on that. It kind of like it is always a yearning for um that particular thing, and luckily my wife has stepped up tremendously, and to fill that spot, not as a mom but just as a figure where you can have that love, that womanly love, and the bond, and not to try to fill in the shoes but be the shoes, um to take that spot. So um it is a it was it's a really difficult thing for me to label it as time goes by. Yeah, it'll get better. For me, it just stays on that same baseline of having those feelings. Like, my daughter's growing up. I constantly show her pictures because she didn't remember her because she was such at a young age. Before she was one day past. So it, yeah, I don't think that statement could resonate with losing a mother or losing a parent at that.
I agree. Like, damn, Marky, yo, 100%. And I gotta give you some flowers right now, because in the entire time of me trying to express how I feel of not having my mom around, and not knowing her, and dealing with her loss, I've never heard it from somebody else's mouth. It's never made me comfortable, really, or made me understand that I'm not bugging out, because I just can't get over it. Like, I don't want to hear time heals all wounds, because I don't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this wound is fresh, and it don't go away. It's kind of like, the scab might come over it, but who knows, when you bump into something and peel the scab off, it's still there. Like, I'm not good.
Yeah.
January 5th is the anniversary of my mom's passing. And for some reason, I can feel it. Even if I don't remember, I'm just off. And hearing you say that, man, it gave me a little bit of comfort that I think I needed to just understand that, yeah, you gotta live. Like, life goes on. We dealing with these losses, and we carrying these burdens, but we're not the only ones. And yeah, I'm grateful for you, Marky. I appreciate you sharing that, bro, because hopefully
Thank you.
it sits in somebody else's spirit too, that they not alone.
Yo, Mark, I don't want to like dive too deep into your backstory and personal life, and you can like move forward from any questions that you feel comfortable with.
Hmm.
But like you said, your aunt raised you, or your aunt adopted you. How
Yeah.
did you like? Were you always in contact with your mom, or like did you have to like rebuild that relationship at some point later in life?
Mm. Um, so funny enough, when I was adopted, I'm from Greenpoint, Brooklyn, right? So we all lived in the same building. So when that transition happened, my biological mom, Madeline, lived on the third floor, and my aunt, who raised me, along with my stepdad, Frank, and two sisters, who are originally my cousins, but sisters because I grew up with them. We lived on the first floor. So for a while, um, I had the luxury of having two mothers. And then, as my biological mom moved out to Long Island, and wow, that's a good question. She moved out to Long Island, and I remember as a kid, um, starting to wonder, why am I um, um, not living with my real moms? And it
Hmm.
carried over to my teenage years, where my biological father was incarcerated. Um, so when I started thinking about, uh, you know, I had a wonderful life. I can't downplay it. My aunt and my dad um, raised me where I didn't not need anything, but there was always something missing. There was always something missing, and this is why, and I'll kind of move into the this is why my crew, or our crew, um, was so special to me, because they, George, Keith, Pavel, Hans, amongst others, were who I leaned on without even telling them that I was leaning on them, because I had something missing. And they, to have a 20 plus year friendship, brotherhood, that, someone like me, who was missing something, could depend on these guys, share potato chips with these guys, share sandwiches with these guys, to now growing and being, in weddings and sharing family memories, um, is the most meaningful to me. And they filled that void, and but it was something that I took, you know, and still take, as something that I was missing, that I wish I had a better relationship with my biological mom, in which I took it upon myself when I was we went to Grover Cleveland High School. We played ball. We had a great run. I bet you we'll touch on that. But um, I basically moved away to Connecticut to finish high school, and then I had the choice of playing D1, D2 basketball in Connecticut, but the yearning for the relationship that I didn't have with my mom, her being in Long Island, I chose to go to a junior college in Long Island to try to live with her and mend that relationship and create it on my own. Um, I think because of the relationship that I had, I think it was a very uncomfortable for my mother to even, embrace me as her son. It was more like a brother sister relationship for a while. It felt like that. And then when I lived there, I made the transition. I moved with her. I was going to Suffolk Community College out there, and it lasted around 6 months. I did a semester over there, because I realized that the dynamic of family that she made the decision to put me in was what I needed, and being my aunt raising me, what put me in the best position to go forward in life. And I'm glad that I had that experience with her, to live with her and to try to um, you know, get that relationship together. But um, now realizing after she passed that she put me in the best position possible, and on this platform, I'll tell her like I'm forever thankful for that.
Wow.
Did you ever ask her why she didn't have you come live with her earlier?
Um, 2 months before she passed, I had a conversation with her. I used to call her every day, um, and um, I finally developed the guts to ask her what was a father. Now I could never ever make that decision on not raising my child. I could never do it. But um, with how it happened, and being in that 70s, 80s time frame, drugs, um, lifestyle, all that stuff, she couldn't be honest with me. She couldn't be honest on why she did it, and never told me why she did it. All she said was is that, um, verbatim, I knew you were something special. I knew you were someone special, and I knew that Millie would give you the life that you deserved. That's what she said.
Man, that's hard to wrestle with, knowing that she made the right decision, but still like having all the feelings because of the decision that was made. That's rough. That's tough.
Yeah.
Marky, you touching on a lot of things, man. I don't even know like where to start, but I want to say this to you, and I've held this for like a really long time, and it's funny because it seems like we all were missing something at the time, and didn't even know it, and we were just giving each other everything that we were missing in a sense, as far as just friendship and brotherhood. And yo, when you went away to Connecticut, when you went to school, right? I'll never forget. We went to go play ball before that, before you left. And I had my Concord 11s with me. Brand new joints, crispy. I mean, clean. And at that time, I was the sneaker king. So I came through. I switched up. I paid extra for them because I had them early. Yeah, I left them in your trunk, and you bounced with my sneakers.
They never returned.
Yo, you went away to school. He went away to school with my kicks. Left. Didn't say, yo, G, I got your sneakers in my trunk. I'm going to leave them with Keith or anybody. He left with my kicks and went away.
That's a going away present.
Yeah, and the kicker is, yeah, he came back.
22 again.
He came back and was in the park one day. So I went to the park or whatever, and he had them on.
Yeah.
And he was playing ball. And yeah, the I didn't even care. Like, it's funny, and you know, it's a joke, and it didn't matter to me. And it didn't matter to me because when we were in school, you did something for me that it meant so much. I had needed a pair of sneakers to practice in one day, and you gave me yours. You let me keep them. Like, it was like your head. And at that time, that's when my sister, you know, she did what she did. They were raising me the way they were raising me, but I didn't have a lot. I didn't have name brand stuff, you know. My kicks wasn't the ones that I wanted, and the ones you gave me was some ones that I wanted. And it was just my brother holding me down. So when the tables turned and it was like, all right, like, here, take them. You know, like, yeah, I love you, Marky, man. Or the whole committee crew.
Yeah.
Like, y'all mean the world to me. Y'all carried me through some tough times. So I understand when you say that we were there. We provided each other something that was really important. Like, those friendships meant a lot. It really did.
What part of Connecticut do you live in? Or do you live in?
It was, no, no, no. I'm back in Queens, but my sister had moved to Meriden, Connecticut.
Yep.
It's in the central part of the state.
Yeah,
So
it's like 20 minutes.
yeah, it was, and I want to, since you shared that, um, you know, I think for us and the crew, basketball brought us together, right? We had, we had a special run that created a lifetime of memories, but I'm mad. I'm pissed off that, George could have been um a part of that and wasn't. But also that if we would have had George, those results in that game would have been different. And the reason why it's so especially as we have so many created memories, right? That we could talk on, we could laugh about. But I remember being on the court that day and George made the decision on what he did, and I'll let him speak on it. It's not on me to speak on that. But you know, I could look to the side right now and see George with that particular occurrence and being like heartbroken and saying like, no, please no, please no. And I'll let him touch on it if he wants to, but um, it's a part of why I think this platform is here. It's just that we have experiences, things that we're going through, and don't have the opportunity to talk on. And now the opportunity to talk on it, it would be a sense of therapy and therapeutic and a way of understanding men go through things as well. It's not
Yeah,
only, women.
I don't want to make too light of the situation, but when you was like, oh, when I look over here and I could see, I thought you was about to say George's Concord 11.
The things, that patent leather shining.
Oh, and you just pull it off.
Leather.
Like,
Oh man, yo, this dude, Marky, you
Forget it.
don't get to come on here and put me on the hot seat, bruh. But you're right, and
Hey, listen, you said it. We going all in, you going all out.
yeah, you're right. All right, so quickly, as quickly as I can, just so the audience has some context to what he's saying. I'm a little older than Marky, so when we started playing ball, it was me and another member of the committee crew, Keith, my brother, best friend, and we kind of went through the ranks of the school to where we were sophomores playing varsity, and then we ended up continuing our journey together. And at home, it became a situation where I'm going to practice every day. I'm playing ball. I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to do. But my sister's husband somehow influenced her into thinking that I wasn't, that I didn't need to be going to practice every day, and I didn't need to, that wasn't a real thing, that I was out doing other stuff. So I got in a position where I went from being a starter on a team that I helped build. Honestly, that was, I don't want to say, they weren't a very good team when we started playing there. And then we went to being division champs my junior year, and then my senior year. Now I'm not playing as much as I should be playing because our coach is like, look, you're not here. I know you're a good player. I know you've played for me, but it's not fair to the players that were here. So now I'm just struggling. I'm all over the place mentally. I'm not happy. My friends, they're doing what they're doing, but I'm stuck to where I have to do what my parents at the time, my sister and her husband, are telling me I need to be doing, but they're taking something away from me that means the world to me. Like, it means everything. Hanging out with my friends and playing ball, it was all I had at the time. I didn't have any other relatives that was coming over that I was hanging out with. I hated being in my house. I hated being in that space. I hated being around that person. I loved my sister, but I hated her relationship, if I'm being honest. It was really toxic, and it was really dysfunctional, and it took me down a really rough road. So it got to a point where we were playing lane for first place at home. I went in the game, threw a bad pass, and came right back out the game. It was probably like a 5 second span, it felt like. And I couldn't take it no more. Took my jersey off, threw it on the floor. One of the other coaches tried to give it back to me. I waved them off, and I left. And that was pretty much the end of my high school basketball career. But they continued to play and ended up playing in Madison Square Garden for the championship that year.
Wow.
So I got to watch my friends do something that we talked about, that we dreamed about. We used to chant MSG when we were in the locker room before the games. Me and Keith had conversations. Like, I used to go from Brownsville to Queens to practice with him because we wanted to get better. And it hurt. Like, it broke my heart to feel left out of something that you started with your boys, but at the same time, you're proud that they're achieving a goal that you set. And I never really talked about it. Marky, you're the first one out of the crew to really put me on the hot seat. Me and Keith, we kicked it a couple times, but he never put it like that. And when I tried to come back and I spoke to our coach, he didn't want to take me back. I found out later that it was because of another coach that told him, don't take me back. But what he said to me was, he said, you quit on your best friend. He said Keith was sick. He wasn't even supposed to be here. Everybody knew Keith was my best friend. He knew we were tight as a team, but he knew Keith was my guy. And that's all he said to me. He was like, look, you didn't leave me. You quit on your best friend. And I've carried that till now. Like, it's a huge burden. But it's something that they never made me feel bad about. They never kicked my back in or made me feel different or threw it in my face that, look, oh, we got to experience this. They wanted me to sit on the bench and be able to watch them there. They always tried to include me, and that adds to the love and the friendship of what we share. And I could never apologize enough for leaving them hanging, because I do feel if I would have been there, that things would have been different. But like Marky said, man, we carry burdens that other people don't know about sometimes, and we need to lean on each other. You know, I needed to lean on my brothers a little more and let them know what was going on, and maybe they could have helped me figure some things out, and I could have handled that different. So don't think you got to figure it out on your own all the time, because sometimes those mistakes stay with you forever.
Yeah, Mark, I want to just start something with this episode with the guests that hopefully going forward everyone will be able to like piggyback off of this and just expect the question. But the question I want to ask, like as we're getting closer to the end of the episode, is like, if you had a message that you could deliver to the audience, right? So like whomever's listening, whenever they're gonna listen, like what would you want them to receive from you?
I think in these particular times, people, even spouses, wives, don't understand the friendship of our crew, right? On how we're so tight knit, codependent, and it seems like these days people are so stuck on the phone or looking up a Google solution for things that um, could take over the genuine uh, love that's already out there when you have a human being or human friendship, like just friendship, brotherhood in itself. I think a lot of people don't have big groups of friends, and I think I'm speaking on like the new society because we old folk and we're stuck in our ways, and I'm blessed, and I hope you guys are blessed with having a tight knit group of friends that you could call and depend on. And in this particular time, I feel that a lot of people or a lot of kids these days, or whoever's listening, has lost um, that way in gaining friendships or developing friendships. And I see it all the time. I see, people hating on each other and stuff like that. And as G just said, like, you know, in and I want to actually just touch back on when I said that I looked over. It was more like not disappointed on doing what he was doing. It was more like, no, G, you're gonna miss something. We talked about this. You going to miss it. And 16, 17 years old, that was my feeling. It was like, no, yo, we're gonna do this. We're don't leave. And it was my mind trying to connect with his at that time. But going back to what you said, it's more like I wish people would just gather that if you had a group of friends or you develop a relationship that you could lean on, is something really special where it doesn't have to involve what they have or what you don't have or hate behind it. Because look, I mean, I can't stress it enough. I'm so blessed to have George and the rest of the guys. Um, I know if I called G tonight, 2, 3 in the morning, and I needed a gallon of milk because I couldn't afford it, I know he'll be on his way. I know he'll be on his way. So, um, my message would be is that people need to take a little more time on developing relationships that they could depend on, friendships that they could form a bond with. And it doesn't have to be a lady. It doesn't have to be in a relationship. It has to be with somebody that you could bond with and create. And I want people to be as lucky as I am or I feel just because I have these guys.
Well said.
So,
Kof, I want to ask you a question. Kind of
sure.
just moving back a little bit because
Would I
knowing.
dunk in high school? Yes.
Yeah, all right. You came out here and was about to get served up, but I ain't even go.
Now we're still hitting shots.
I ain't even gonna mention that, but just knowing everybody's situation now of the relationships with their moms, and being familiar with his relationship and me knowing mine, and now hearing Mark's story, does it make you see your relationship with your mom any differently?
Um, no, not really. My relationship with my mother was, in most respects, different. Right? Like I mean, I had her. I can't say most of my life, because I haven't lived a long life yet. But she was in my life. Lived with her. I was fortunate to live with her and my grandmother. It's ironic that they each passed within a year of each other. My grandmother last year, my mother the year before that. So when if I wasn't in a if I wasn't in a good space with my mom at the time, my grandmother was there, and vice versa. And much like Marky, like I would call my mom every day after college. Like it was one of those weird things where I grew up with her. We were around each other all the time. Um, but like any parent child relationship, you're kind of like, oh, I can't wait to go. And then when you go, I became like the biggest mama's boy. Like I called her every day. And my grandmother too. I tried to go her at least 3 or 4 times a week because they had like completely different views on things, and it was nice to hear from both of them. So I would say really hasn't changed my outlook or what I thought my relationship was. It's just interesting hearing more and more people our age or in our age range that have lost parents or gone through a situation where they didn't have them. I thought it was very rare, but I'm finding it's more and more common, especially in our general generation. And I know George, you're like 50, but like you're still a part of our generation also.
I'm close. I'm close. I feel like I'm aging nicely though. So I'll take that if you want to hit me with that. It's cool.
Yo, G, let me touch on what Kofi was saying, because like something has changed in the way that I view my mother. The more like I process it and talk about it, and actually the older I get, like so, just growing up and raising a child. For a long time, I don't know if I was like ashamed or disappointed or like I just didn't appreciate what she did, what she went through, right? Because like I felt like she let me down, right? Like you was alive when I got put in a foster home. It was because of like you, right? Like you did a lot of things that like I can't accept as a parent, as an adult. And the thing that I've kind of like come to be more understanding about is like, yo, while I was growing up, she was growing up, because I'm almost as old as my mom's was when she died, and like I'm still figuring it out, right? So like I feel like when my godmoms is around, like I still be like, moms, can you help me with whatever? Like I feel like a child still. So like I know like my perception of her, like when you're a kid, you see your parents as grown, right? And they should know and they should have it all figured out and they should be ready for life. But like as you grow up, you realize like, nah, like they were growing up too and they were just trying to figure it out.
Nice. Be respect. Much respect to you on that, dog.
Yes.
It takes a lot to say that, and I say that because we've had numerous conversations about how you feel about your mom. So to have a breakthrough, you deserve some flowers. I'm really proud of you for saying that and understanding that. And yeah, I just want to, just in case my sister see this, well, even if she don't see it, I don't want to put it out there like she was a terrible person or whatever. She raised me. She took the chance of going from a sister to a mother at 21, 22, however old she was. She took that responsibility on to being my mom's, and B, you kind of just you tapped me on my shoulder and reminded me of that by saying what you said just now, because she didn't have the answers. She didn't have any kids of her own. She didn't know what she was doing. She just knew that her brother wanted to come live with her and he needed her, and she took me. So shout out to her. Like much respect to her on that, man. Oh, this was heavy. Heavy in a good way though. Yeah, we starting 2022 off right. Oh, before I forget, Marky, I got something else to say to you before I forget. And this is from the heart. Yeah, you beat me in the school gym tournament, and it let me know that you was special on the basketball court. It let me know that I was old. I was getting older. And I just wanted to give you some props and some flowers, because the year before I was like Jordan in the building. When I won that tournament basically on my own, it was real. And then the next year you came through and you took that from me, and I really could not stop you. I never gave you your credit. Like I really could not. I couldn't win, and I was like, damn, this dude is really, really good. And I always was impressed by you on the court, man. I always thought that you were a special talent, like just ahead of your time.
Yeah, Mark, you gotta come back for another one. We gotta ask some more questions. I got some more I want to dig into.
Yeah. We gotta
I'm
get
with
the committee crew on here also. Just the vibe, Mark. Appreciate the energy you came through. B, I'm not gonna let you off the hook that easy with all the basketball talk though. Like, don't think that don't think you're just gonna
You got-
run away from that. Hold on, cause
You
Kofi,
need- you
Kofi, you
need-
remember,
you
you
Kofi
remember
said
what
he
he's,
was gonna dunk on you.
you remember what he said when he act like he could hoop or whatever. I went to
Yo,
his
fam.
crib. No. Don't
Your knees ain't too. Your knees is gonna. You writing a check. Your knees can't cash.
Hold on.
I'm telling you
Yeah,
right now.
I went to his crib to pick up my desk. I love the desk. Oh, it's so fire. I appreciate it. But he had the nerve to have a basketball. He had a hoop. I didn't even think he would have a hoop. But he had a ball in his yard, right? So I picked the ball up, and for one, it was dead. It didn't have no air in it. It didn't have no grip. I was like, wait. He put up a shot. It was an air ball.
Okay. He's pretty much saying you're the type of person that goes to the court with a matching outfit.
Yeah.
Yo, G, I'm telling you, you're gonna have to cash this check sooner or later.
Yeah.
It sounds like we never
You're
went to
accruing
court.
debt. You gotta make a payment.
I'm ready and willing, man.
Okay.
This was Marky, this was amazing, man. It really was. Thank you. I appreciate you. Like B said, we gonna need you back. You might have got you like one of those reoccurring guest spots on here. Yeah. It's an open invitation, and we needed this jump start to 2022. Our first real episode locking in. We had some breakthroughs. We had some moments. We shared some real feelings. He came through. He didn't hold back. And we're not holding back. Like, you don't need to hold back either. Just be you. Just express yourself the way you need to express yourself and get through the things that you need to get through. And don't live in fear and be, like you said before, don't suffer in silence. You don't gotta suffer in silence. It's help out there. It's love out there. You're welcome on this platform. It's a mental health check this year. Doesn't matter. Whatever you need to talk about and whatever you need to get off your chest, we're here. It's a movement. Marky, again, thank you for joining us. Fellas, you already know what's up. It's always a pleasure. And to you out there, whoever you are, wherever you are, no matter what you're doing, just be inspired. Choose to inspire, not destroy. Peace.
Yeah. Yo, that was a good one.
Yo, choose to inspire, not destroy.